And for some analysis on this, joining me now live from Sydney, Australia, is mine warfare specialist Andy Perry. Andy, great to have you here with us on TRT World. Based on your research, what kind of mines is Iran using in the Strait of Hormuz?
Oh, yeah, thanks for having me. It's great to be here. I just wanted to basically probably outline that we don't know whether they've laid mines as yet, and we don't know whether they're going to lay mines, particularly in the Strait of Hormuz, whether it's to their advantage to do that. And it's going to be an ongoing thing that we need to watch. The mine capability that they have obviously have ground mines and buoyant mines, and they have, I would say, they would have probably 7 or 8 variants of those. A buoyant mine is one that's anchored to the seabed, and the buoyant section will sit on the surface or just below the surface, and then it will, when it comes in contact with the ship, it will explode. And a ground mine will be on the seabed, and it will fire when it detects a acoustic, magnetic, or a pressure signature and it forms the explosive energy creates a gas bubble. The gas bubble will filter up through the water column, and the energy will release out into the atmosphere. And as that comes into contact with the ship, it can do a lot of significant damage. It can often break the spine of the ship, and the ship will sink. That's the history of the way mines work. And we don't know to what level and to what technology the Iranians have. A lot of the stuff that I've looked at in open source is, it leads to the fact they've probably got about 5,000 or 6,000 mines, but that's without taking into account how many the US forces and the Israeli forces have already taken out. So it's really unsure, and I'm not sure what their intent is.
According to CENTCOM, this is based on the 11th of March, Iran has deployed fewer than 11 naval mines in the Strait of Hormuz. I wonder, what does this tell us about Iran's war strategy? Because certainly they do have thousands of mines in their arsenal.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. And, for me to speculate on what the Iranian approach is quite, it's a bit confounding for me personally. So I would say that just from the fact that we only know what the information that we're getting. The Iranians also have the midget submarines. I think it's the Ghadir class, and those submarines they can lay 2 to 4, I think, mines per submarine. So and they've got access around the Persian Gulf. So there's nothing saying that they haven't laid more mines. And that's kind of one of the issues with sea mines, because we don't know if they've been laid or not. And, when we actually find out that they have been laid, it kind of complicates the issue. And it's going to make clearing those mines a challenging task.
And Andy, as you know, US President Donald Trump is calling for a so-called global naval coalition to police the Strait of Hormuz. He has called on allies like the United Kingdom and France, even countries like China, to come and help police the Strait of Hormuz. But here's the thing. The head of the International Maritime Organization reportedly said a few days ago that even if tankers are provided naval escorts in the Strait of Hormuz, that is not going to provide 100% security. So certainly this plan that is being championed by President Donald Trump is not going to be sustainable in the longer run.
Yeah, I don't know if I can comment on that, because it's an interesting and complex problem. I don't know how it's going to pan out, but I do know if there've been mines laid, and if there's more than the 11 or so mines that they've claimed to have laid, or that the intel says they've laid, we could be in for an extended period, particularly if they've laid those mines in the Strait of Hormuz, because we've got to actually get our mine countermeasures teams in there to be able to check to see if they have laid the mines, and then we've got to be able to clear them, and that's going to take time.
And Andy, assuming that Iran deploys more mines in the Strait of Hormuz, how difficult is it going to be for the United States, and if other allies join the US, to demine the Strait of Hormuz?
Well, it can be a really slow process, and it depends on the equipment. So as long as the Americans have a lot of excellent mine countermeasures gear and equipment. So, you know, as long as they can remain on task, they could probably get that job done in a fairly decent amount of time. The problem is it's going to take time, and you know, it's if we're going to need mine countermeasures operations within the Strait of Hormuz, we're probably looking more weeks than days. It's not going to be over, and you know, it's not an overnight job. This is a task that is tedious, and it's laborious, and it takes a lot of analysis. So there's a lot of effort goes into mine countermeasures operations. You've got to be able to survey the area, and then you're going to classify any contacts, and if they're mine-like, then we've got to go and ID them. And if we've identified mines in those areas, then we're going to need to clear them with a prosecution process. So you're going to need a neutralisation system to clear them, and this all takes time. And then we want to make sure that we've got the right level of confidence that it is safe for shipping to go through the Strait of Hormuz. So it's going to be an ongoing process, and hopefully we can get it underway in the near future.
Fascinating insights. Andy Perry, thanks very much for joining us here on TRT World. I really appreciate your taking out the time.
No worries. Thanks for having me.